What if the belly fat that refuses to leave, no matter how hard you try, has almost nothing to do with how much you eat? What if there is one daily habit, something you probably do without even thinking about it, that is quietly keeping your body locked in what some researchers call fat storage mode? And what if this habit is something you were actually told was good for you? If you are over 60 and you have noticed that stubborn fat around your midsection just will not budge, I need you to pay close attention to what I am about to share, because this might explain why everything you have tried has not worked the way you hoped. Here is something most people are never told. Belly fat after 60 is not just a cosmetic concern. That fat deep inside your abdomen, wrapped around your organs, is metabolically active. It behaves differently than the fat on your arms or legs, and research has linked it to increased risk of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, and even cognitive decline. But here's the frustrating part. You can eat less, you can exercise more, you can avoid desserts and count every calorie, and still that belly fat can remain stubbornly in place. Why? Because for many people over 60, the issue is not calories. The issue is timing. Specifically, it is a pattern that keeps the hormone insulin elevated almost all day long, and when insulin is high, your body is in storage mode. It is physically very difficult to burn stored fat when insulin is constantly elevated. A growing body of research suggests that one particular daily habit may be the biggest culprit. And the shocking part is that for decades, we were told this habit was healthy. We were told it was the right way to eat. Today, I'm going to explain exactly what this habit is, why it may be keeping you stuck in what I call diabetes mode, and what you can do instead, starting tonight. If you stay with me to the end, I will also share why making this one shift may not only help with belly fat, but could support your energy levels, your mental clarity, and your long-term heart and metabolic health. Before we dive in, I want to hear from you. Please drop a comment right now with your age, where you are watching from, and your biggest frustration with belly fat after 60. Have you tried everything and nothing seems to work? Are you worried about diabetes or heart disease? I read every single comment, and your experience helps me create better content for this community. And if you find this video helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It costs you nothing, but it helps more people over 60 find this information. Thank you. Now let us talk about what might really be going on inside your body. To understand why belly fat becomes so stubborn after 60, you first need to understand a hormone called insulin. You have probably heard of it in connection with diabetes. But insulin does far more than just regulate blood sugar. It is also the master switch that determines whether your body stores fat or burns it. Here is how it works in simple terms. Every time you eat, especially foods that contain carbohydrates or sugar, your blood sugar rises. In response, your pancreas releases insulin. Insulin's job is to escort that sugar out of your bloodstream and into your cells, where it can be used for energy or stored for later. But insulin has another important job. When insulin is present in your blood, it signals your body to store fat and to stop burning fat. This makes sense from a survival standpoint. If food is coming in, your body wants to save it for later, not burn through your reserves. The problem arises when insulin is elevated for too many hours of the day. Think of insulin as a traffic light. When insulin is high, the light is red for fat burning. Your body cannot easily access stored fat for fuel. It is in storage mode. When insulin is low, the light turns green. Your body can finally tap into those fat reserves and use them for energy. Now, here's what changes after 60. As we age, our cells often become less responsive to insulin. This is called insulin resistance. Your pancreas has to produce more and more insulin to get the same job done. And when insulin levels are chronically elevated, even if your blood sugar looks normal on a test, your body stays in fat storage mode far too much of the time. This is what I mean by diabetes mode. You may not have diabetes, your doctor may not have diagnosed you with prediabetes, but metabolically your body may be behaving as though it is constantly being flooded with sugar, constantly pumping out insulin, constantly storing instead of burning, and the belly is where this stored fat tends to accumulate most, especially in older adults. This visceral fat is not just sitting there. It releases inflammatory signals. It disrupts hormones. It makes insulin resistance worse. It creates a vicious cycle that becomes harder and harder to break. So if you have been eating less, exercising more, and still watching your waistline expand, this might be why. It is not a willpower problem. It is a hormonal and metabolic pattern that many people over 60 fall into without realizing it. And one daily habit may be making it much, much worse. So what is this forbidden habit that may be keeping you trapped in fat storage mode? It is constant grazing, eating or snacking throughout the entire day, from the moment you wake up until the moment you go to bed. Now I know this might be confusing. For decades, we were told that eating small, frequent meals was the healthy way to eat. You probably heard advice like eat every 2 to 3 hours to keep your metabolism running. Never let yourself get hungry. Keep your blood sugar stable by snacking often. This advice was everywhere. In magazines, from nutritionists, even from some doctors. And for certain people in certain situations, it may have some merit. But for many adults over 60, especially those with insulin resistance or stubborn belly fat, this pattern of constant eating may be one of the worst things you can do for your metabolism. Here is why. Every time you eat, whether it is a full meal or just a small snack, your body releases insulin, even if the snack is healthy, even if it is just a handful of nuts or a few crackers or a piece of fruit. Every eating occasion triggers an insulin response. If you eat breakfast at 7, have a snack at 9:30, eat lunch at noon, have another snack at 3, eat dinner at 6, and have a small something while watching television at 8:30. How many insulin spikes is that? 6, maybe more if there are other little nibbles in between. And if each insulin spike takes 2 to 3 hours to come back down, or longer if you are insulin resistant, then your insulin levels may be elevated almost the entire time you are awake. Your body never gets a long enough break to switch from storage mode to burning mode. The fat burning window never opens. I want you to imagine this. Picture your body as a house with 2 fuel sources. One is the food you just ate, the glucose in your bloodstream. The other is the fat stored in your basement, your body fat, especially that belly fat. When insulin is high, your body only uses the food you just ate. It cannot access the basement. The door is locked. When insulin is low, after you have gone several hours without eating, your body finally unlocks that basement door and starts pulling out stored fat to burn for energy. But if you are eating every 2 or 3 hours, you keep refilling the upstairs supply before your body ever needs to go to the basement. The stored fat just sits there, accumulating year after year. For adults over 60 who already have some degree of insulin resistance, this pattern may be especially damaging. Your insulin levels may stay elevated even longer after each meal or snack. Your body may be even less able to switch into fat-burning mode. And so the belly fat stays, no matter how healthy your snacks are, no matter how carefully you count calories. Because the issue is not what you are eating, it is when and how often. This is the forbidden habit, not because snacking is evil, but because for many people over 60, it may be the hidden barrier keeping them stuck in diabetes mode. You might be wondering whether there is real science behind this. The answer is yes, and the evidence has been growing. Multiple studies in recent years have explored the relationship between meal frequency, meal timing, and metabolic health. While the research is still evolving, some consistent patterns have emerged. One study published in a major nutrition journal found that adults who ate fewer larger meals had better insulin sensitivity than those who ate the same number of calories spread across many small meals and snacks. Their bodies were more efficient at handling blood sugar. Another study looked at what happens when people simply shorten their eating window, consuming all their food within a period of 8 to 10 hours instead of grazing for 14 or 15 hours. Even without changing what they ate or how much, participants showed improvements in fasting insulin levels, blood pressure, and markers of inflammation. Research on time-restricted eating has been particularly interesting for older adults. A study in overweight adults over 60 found that those who limited eating to an earlier window of the day showed improvements in metabolic markers and modest reductions in body weight, particularly around the midsection. The theory behind these findings relates to circadian rhythm, your body's internal clock. Your metabolism is not constant throughout the day. It is most active in the morning and early afternoon. It slows down in the evening. Eating late at night or grazing constantly may work against this natural rhythm. Now I want to be clear. This is not about extreme fasting or skipping meals in a way that leaves you weak or undernourished. That would not be safe, especially for adults over 60 who need adequate protein and nutrients. It is simply about giving your body a break, a window of time each day, ideally overnight, and extending into the morning or evening when you are not eating, when insulin can come down, when your body can finally access stored fat for fuel. For some people, this might mean finishing dinner by 6 or 7 in the evening and not eating again until 7 or 8 the next morning. That is already 12 or 13 hours. For others, it might mean skipping the mid-morning and mid-afternoon snacks and eating just 2 or 3 real meals with nothing in between. The right approach depends on your individual health, your medications, and your doctor's guidance. But the principle is the same: less constant eating, more time for insulin to fall, more opportunity for your body to burn stored fat. Let me take a moment here to remind you that this video is for educational purposes only. I am not your personal doctor, and I do not know your specific health situation. If you have diabetes, if you take medications for blood sugar, if you have a history of eating disorders, or if you have other health conditions, please talk to your physician before making changes to your eating patterns. This is especially important for adults over 60, whose needs and risks can be quite different from younger people. If you are finding this information valuable, please consider hitting the like button right now. It really helps this video reach more people who need to hear this message. And if you are not subscribed yet, please join us. We create content every week to help adults over 60 stay healthy, strong, and independent. So how do you actually make this change? How do you break the constant grazing habit and give your body a chance to escape diabetes mode? The good news is that you do not have to do anything extreme. Small, gradual changes can make a meaningful difference over time. And for many people, these changes actually feel better once you adjust. More energy, less hunger, clearer thinking. Here's a simple approach to get started. First, notice your current eating pattern. For the next day or two, just pay attention to when you eat. Write it down if that helps. What time is your first bite of food in the morning? When is your last bite at night? How many separate eating occasions do you have throughout the day? Many people are surprised when they actually track this. They realize they are eating or snacking almost constantly without being fully aware of it. Just having awareness is the first step. Second, identify your easiest opportunity to extend a non-eating window. For most people, this is overnight and into the morning. If you typically have a late night snack while watching television, could you finish eating by 7 or 8 instead? If you normally eat breakfast the moment you wake up, could you wait an hour or two, having just water or black coffee until then? You are not eliminating meals. You are simply giving your body a longer rest from eating. Even adding 1 or 2 hours to your overnight fast can start to make a difference. Third, focus on satisfying meals instead of frequent snacks. One reason people graze is that their meals are not keeping them full. If you eat a breakfast that is mostly refined carbohydrates, like cereal, toast, or a muffin, you may feel hungry again an hour or two later. Your blood sugar spikes and crashes, and you reach for a snack. But if your meals include adequate protein, healthy fats, and fiber, you are more likely to feel satisfied for several hours without needing to eat again. Try to include protein at every meal. Eggs, Greek yogurt, fish, poultry, legumes, or cottage cheese are all good options. Add vegetables for fiber. Include some healthy fat like olive oil, avocado, or nuts. This combination helps stabilize blood sugar and keeps hunger at bay. Fourth, when you feel the urge to snack, pause and ask yourself if you are truly hungry or just eating out of habit, boredom, or routine. Many people snack at certain times simply because that is what they have always done, not because their body actually needs food. If you are truly hungry between meals, that is a signal that your meals may not be substantial enough. Consider making your meals larger and more satisfying rather than adding snacks in between. If you are not truly hungry, try having a glass of water, a cup of herbal tea, or simply distracting yourself with a short walk or activity. Often the urge to snack passes within a few minutes. Fifth, be patient with yourself. If you have been grazing all day for years or decades, it will take time for your body to adjust. You might feel hungry between meals at first. That is normal. Your body is used to receiving food constantly. But for most people, this adjustment period only lasts a week or two. As your insulin levels begin to normalize, something interesting often happens. You actually feel less hungry, not more. When your body can finally access stored fat for fuel, it has plenty of energy. You do not need to eat as often because you are burning your reserves. Many people who make this shift report feeling more energetic, more mentally clear, and more in control of their appetite. The constant food thoughts quiet down. Eating becomes simpler and more enjoyable. Now, I have been focusing on belly fat because that is what brought you to this video. But I want you to understand that the benefits of breaking the constant grazing habit may extend far beyond your waistline. When you give your body regular breaks from eating, several important processes can occur. First, your insulin levels have a chance to drop. This may improve insulin sensitivity over time, potentially reducing your risk of type 2 diabetes or helping you manage blood sugar if you already have prediabetes. Second, lower insulin levels may reduce inflammation throughout your body. Chronic inflammation is linked to almost every age-related disease: heart disease, stroke, Alzheimer's, arthritis, and more. By spending less time in high insulin mode, you may be reducing systemic inflammation. Third, your cardiovascular system may benefit. Studies have linked time-restricted eating to improvements in blood pressure, triglycerides, and other markers of heart health. Given that heart disease is the leading cause of death for adults over 60, anything that supports cardiovascular function is worth paying attention to. Fourth, your brain may function better. Many people report improved mental clarity and focus when they stop grazing constantly. Some researchers believe this is because the brain functions well when running on ketones, an alternative fuel that your body produces when insulin is low and you are burning fat. Fifth, your energy levels may become more stable. Instead of the roller coaster of blood sugar spikes and crashes that comes with constant snacking, you may experience steady, sustained energy throughout the day. And sixth, your relationship with food may improve. When you are not constantly thinking about the next snack, when you are not ruled by cravings and hunger every few hours, eating becomes more intentional. You enjoy your meals more. Food becomes fuel and pleasure, not a constant background obsession. I am not promising miracles. Everyone is different, and results vary. But the potential benefits of this one simple shift, moving from constant grazing to consolidated eating with breaks in between, are significant enough that I believe everyone over 60 should at least consider it. Before we wrap up, I want to address some important considerations that are specific to adults over 60. Because while this approach may be helpful for many people, it is not one size fits all. If you have diabetes or take medications that lower blood sugar, please do not make changes to your eating patterns without talking to your doctor first. Going longer without eating could cause your blood sugar to drop too low, especially if your medications are dosed based on your current eating schedule. Your doctor may need to adjust your medications if you change when and how often you eat. If you are underweight or at risk of malnutrition, extending fasting windows may not be appropriate for you. Older adults are at higher risk of not getting enough protein and calories, which can lead to muscle loss and frailty. If this is a concern for you, focus on eating nutrient-dense meals rather than extending the time between them. If you have a history of eating disorders, please approach this topic with caution and work with a healthcare professional. The language of fasting and restricted eating can be triggering for some people. If you have kidney disease, liver disease, or other chronic conditions, your dietary needs may be specific. Always consult with your healthcare team before making changes. And regardless of your health status, please remember that the goal here is not deprivation. It is not about eating less food overall. It is about eating your food in a way that works with your body's natural rhythms and metabolic processes rather than against them. You should still eat enough to meet your nutritional needs. You should still get adequate protein, which becomes even more important after 60 for maintaining muscle mass. You should still enjoy your food. The shift is simply from many small eating occasions spread across the entire day to fewer, more substantial, more satisfying meals with breaks in between. For many people over 60, this feels more natural once they adjust. It is actually closer to how humans ate for most of history, before the era of constant snacking, vending machines, and the advice to eat every few hours. Let me bring together everything we have covered today. If you are over 60 with stubborn belly fat that will not budge, the problem may not be how much you eat. It may be how often you eat. Constant grazing, eating or snacking from morning to night, may keep your insulin levels elevated all day long. And when insulin is high, your body is in storage mode. It cannot easily burn stored fat. That belly fat stays locked away, no matter how hard you try. This pattern is what I have been calling diabetes mode. Your body behaves as though it is constantly processing incoming food, constantly storing, never burning. And for adults over 60 who already tend toward insulin resistance, this pattern can be especially harmful. The forbidden habit is not any single food, it is the habit of eating all the time. The swap is simple in concept, though it takes some adjustment in practice. Instead of grazing, consolidate your eating into 2 or 3 satisfying meals. Give your body at least 12 hours overnight without food. Avoid snacking between meals if possible. Focus on protein, fiber, and healthy fats to stay satisfied longer. When you do this, you give insulin a chance to drop. You unlock the basement door. Your body can finally start accessing stored fat for fuel, and over time that stubborn belly fat may begin to release. Beyond belly fat, this approach may support better blood sugar control, lower inflammation, improved heart health, more stable energy, and clearer thinking. It is not a miracle cure, but it is a shift that aligns with how your body was designed to work. I want you to remember that change does not have to be dramatic to be powerful. You do not need to adopt an extreme fasting protocol. Even small adjustments, finishing dinner a bit earlier, waiting a bit longer before breakfast, cutting out the mid-morning snack can start to shift the pattern. And whatever you do, please be kind to yourself. If you have been grazing for years, because that is what you were told to do, you were following the best advice available at the time. Now you have new information. What you do with it going forward is what matters. Your body is remarkably adaptable, even at 60, 70, 80, and beyond. It can learn new patterns. It can improve its metabolic function. It is not too late. Thank you so much for staying with me through this entire video. I know it was a lot of information, and I truly appreciate your time and attention. Please remember that everything I have shared today is for general educational purposes only. It is not medical advice, and it is not meant to replace the guidance of your personal physician. Before making any changes to your eating patterns, especially if you have diabetes, take medications, or have other health conditions, please talk to your doctor. They know your situation and can help you make choices that are safe and appropriate for you. If this video was helpful, I would be so grateful if you would hit the like button. It really does make a difference in helping more people find this information. And if you are not subscribed yet, please consider joining this channel. I create videos every week specifically for adults over 60 who want to stay strong, healthy, and independent. No gimmicks, no extreme advice, just practical, research-informed information delivered with respect. Now I want to hear from you. Please leave a comment below and tell me your age, where you are watching from, and which part of this video surprised you the most. Did you realize you were grazing all day? Have you ever tried eating in a more consolidated window? What is your biggest challenge with belly fat after 60? I read every single comment, and I often get ideas for future videos from your questions and experiences. This community is what makes this channel special. If you know someone else who has been struggling with stubborn belly fat after 60, a spouse, a sibling, a friend, please consider sharing this video with them. Sometimes one piece of information can make all the difference in someone's health journey. Thank you again for watching. Take good care of yourself, be patient with yourself, and I will see you in the next video.